For my death scene, they came up to me, the prosthetic guys, and said, "Oh, listen, you're going to get a tentacle through that rather dubious neck wound." I went, "Oh, okay." So they came up with this cigar-shaped thing and glued it to my dubious neck. There are children here, I can hear them, so I'm not going to describe what it looks like, but we are.
By the sounds of them, they're too young to understand, at least I hope they are.
Yeah, exactly. And so I walked around all day long with this cigar thing that looks like a male thing glued to my lady bit in my throat, to the merriment of cast and crew. And that was embarrassing. Well, no, now I wouldn't give a poop, right? But then it was, oh God. And then you have to stand there and pretend that it went into your throat, and these two guys were kneeling at my feet, as with you, with little balloons full of Kensington gore, as the Brits call it, which is fake blood. And but it shot out in a way that was so, I thought, kind of unrealistic. It was just like, I mean, what do I know? I see very little arterial spray in my real life, but it was just, I don't know. It was very strange. And then, of course, I turned into some dishy brunette when I fall on the floor, and I was going, who was that lady who was the dead Synthwave? She's not credited, is she? I bet she'd get a lot of autographs. But it was very strange, basically. So there you go.
The question was it a good climax? Well, I've never been averse to a good climax. But I have experienced better ones than that.
We don't need details.
No, please let me,
On a Tuesday in Hartlepool. I've seen the video.
I think for Nick and and you, Barbie, by the sound of it, it was the most disappointing, unclimactic bit was that we'd spent the best part of 2 years buried in prosthetic makeup. To hear this rumor that finally our faces were going to be revealed as we died, only to find that you had a little boy and I had...
Can you rephrase that, please?
At least I was a dishy brunette, nameless gal that she was. Producers go...
I turned into a very large gentleman, but looked nothing like me.
No.
But we understood why.
Well,
I
spoke to Pete Atkins and about this. I said, so why, Pete? Why did he? He said, Clive said when they were talking over this, he said, yeah, one of them should change into a child. And he said, yeah, Nick, it's fine. It's like, oh, okay. That was, Doug said, because it was in the script, so that's why it happened.
Actually, funny enough, I think that's one of the most perverse things about the ending, because it's the hands don't call us but desire thing, but it's some little kid. I mean, how...
Well, I mean, it took me about 10 years to get over this. It's like, what do you mean? And then I just thought, this is absolutely fascinating, the idea that someone who looks like a child opened the box and then grew up in hell, because Chatterer is very clearly an adult when you see him, and then this is very clearly a child inside this big costume. And it has to say that one of my favourite ever questions at a convention about Chatterer happened probably in this very room, certainly at this very convention, where somebody, a young boy who was 8 years old, I know, said, is the chattering dog in Hellraiser 4, I think, is that Chatterer's dog in hell? And I just thought, yes, because all boys should have dogs. And it's just like, and I just thought, yeah, that's cool. I like that idea. That's very cool.
Okay.
But it could have been worse. They could have reverted you to a dog.
Not for the first time.
The lady over there, she had a...
Okay, right here.
Well, you answered my first question. My first question was going to be if you played your unmasked self when the Son of a Guy, but my other question is, what was the time, since there's only a year difference between movies, what was the time lapse of like wrapping up with one and then going to film two?
Oh, it was the next day, wasn't it? Or something. Actually,
And how much time between?
It was really close. It was a few months, yeah.
no, but in the movie timeline. The events in
Oh, the actual,
Two was-
yeah, immediate.
No, I meant like the actual wrapping up of the film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's okay.
Hold back to do two.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, during the first.
I didn't hear.
And how much real time elapsed between the end of filming one and the start of filming two?
Oh, in real life,
Yeah.
we wrapped Hellraiser in late autumn.
We actually,
86?
we did the pickups in January.
Okay.
When they went back and they did Frank coming out of the floor, that was kind of in January, February
Right.
of 87.
Principal photography.
Yeah, principal photography, right?
Because I
Absolutely.
remember Clive inviting me to listen to a piece of Cricklewood production village where we filmed Hellraiser. It was fairly rudimentary, and Clive had me listen to a bit of sound recording from stage on November the 5th, in which you could hear the fireworks. I'm not going to take time to try and explain Bonfire Night, Guy Fawkes Night to you. Google it. You could hear the fireworks going off in the background. So, when did we start Hellbound?
January of
87, wasn't it?
It wasn't that far, surely. No, because it didn't come out till 87, it was 80.
No, but it came out in December
I
'87.
feel like we're one of those posters of dogs playing poker.
Yeah.
I think right at the end of 88, beginning of 89.
No,
was
it was definitely '87. I thought because
Hellraiser was released.
We don't know.
No, we don't.
We're too old to remember.
Well, it all started in January, and I was flying back from seeing my
Yeah, but
folks,
88.
and the plane was delayed, and
not
the
87.
second assistant was going nuts, and my dad, I'd given his number, and he went, "You won't believe how much she's going nuts, because she's stuck in Toronto trying to get back to London." And I arrived, and I had to take a cab from Heathrow Airport to Pinewood, and everyone was mad at me because I was 2 hours late. I arrived at 8 instead of 6 a.m. or something. And of course, we didn't get in front of the cameras. It was the big scene in Channard's lab until 6
p.m.
p.m.
Easily.
And that was,
Was
it.
that-
It's not hot.
That's January 88.
That's January 88. That's January
I thought
88.
Hellraiser came out, Hellbound came out in '87.
No.
No, Hellraiser came out in 87.
You're right.
Yes, as Simon said, we don't know.
We don't know.
One of the things we did know as we were beginning to wrap on Hellraiser 1 was that there was going to be a sequel.
Yeah.
Because they were changing the endings and putting in the big dragon thing that flew away at the end, which, by the way, I spoke to one of the special effects guys. He was given a budget of £10 to build that and 24 hours to actually do it.
Riches. I've still no idea why a dragon flew out of the bonfire. And of course, the other thing that happened in relation to that was that we were being told that New World wanted a sequel. They wanted the action to pick up as soon as Hellraiser finished, and it was going to be in America. This was a bit of a problem because Hellraiser was written to take place in London and had up to that point been filmed to take place in London. And you know, you don't have to look too carefully, although all the backfilling that went on to make Hellraiser convincingly take place in an unnamed American city, but not Manhattan. For example, Kirsty's boyfriend, with a newly acquired American accent, in the clearly British railway station with a British Rail 125 Express going through at the beginning of the scene, tries to steal a kiss from Kirsty, who says, I was warned about you English guys, especially you English guys with American accents. And I always said that, weirdly, one thing that didn't change was the British accents of Julia's victims, which leaves you with this delicious piece of perversity that I don't think even Pinhead could have imagined, where Julia goes out into this unnamed American city and trawls the bars to find balding British businessmen to bring home and beat their brains out and feed their blood to her lover. It's pretty special, man.
But you have to admire that kind of dedication. I think Julia is the diva of horror. And if I wanted to get my lover's skin back, I guess I'd do the same. Maybe not, no, of course not. But it was just so, to me it was operatic, you know, and her coming out with and she started out as this mousy little housewife and becomes this killing machine. It's almost like it's every American girl's dream. No, I didn't say that. It's so fascinating, so perverse. And what was the question? Anyway.
We don't know.
I just wanted to put in a word for Claire Higgins' amazing fucking performance. She's still a force of nature, and to me, I think actually the rumor was that everybody thought she would be the character repeating. It was going to follow Julia.
That was Clive's intention. His focus was not on the Cenobites, his focus was on Julia.
Yeah.
I wish he was here. I always thought he was a little bit pissed off that we crept past Julia and stole the limelight, which was, and I don't know how he ever imagined that he was going to put makeups like that on the big screen in front of these ravening maniacs and not have them go, fuck yeah.
Give me more corpse-fleshed ball people.